A lot of people hear the phrase, frugal living, and immediately think of extreme sacrifice. They picture someone never buying anything fun, never enjoying life, and counting every penny in a way that feels stressful and miserable. But that is not the full truth. Frugal living is not about making life worse. It is about being intentional with money so you can spend on what matters and stop wasting money on what does not. Done the right way, frugal living can actually create more peace, more freedom, and more control. In this video, we are going to talk about the truth about frugal living, what it really means, what it does not mean, and how to make it work in a normal real life. Let's get into it. 1. Frugal living is not the same as being cheap. One of the biggest misunderstandings about frugal living is that people think it means being cheap, but those two things are not the same. Being cheap usually means focusing only on the lowest price, even if the item is low quality, short-lived, or frustrating to use. Frugal living is different. It means making smart decisions with your money so you get real value. A frugal person may choose the less expensive option, but only if it still makes sense. The goal is not to suffer for the sake of saving. The goal is to avoid waste. That difference matters a lot. Frugal living is about wisdom, deprivation. 2. Frugal living is about value, not restriction. A lot of people think frugal living means saying no to everything. In reality, it is more about saying yes to the things that genuinely matter and no to the things that do not. For example, someone who lives frugally might cook at home most days, buy fewer random items, and avoid impulse spending, but that does not mean they never go out, never travel, or never enjoy themselves. It simply means they spend with purpose. This is why frugal living can feel freeing instead of restrictive. When you stop wasting money on things that do not improve your life, you create more room for the things that actually do. 3. It helps you build financial breathing room. One of the biggest benefits of frugal living is margin. When you spend less than you earn on purpose, you create space in your budget. That space is what helps you handle emergencies, save money, and feel less stressed every month. Without breathing room, every expense feels heavy. A small problem can feel like a crisis, but when you live more frugally, you give your money more room to work for you instead of disappearing immediately. This is one of the main reasons frugal living is so powerful. It is not just about saving a little here and there. It is about creating a stronger foundation. 4. Small habits matter more than big sacrifices. A lot of people think frugal living requires huge changes all at once, but in reality, it is usually built from small habits repeated over time. That could mean cooking one more meal at home each week, canceling a subscription you do not use, waiting before making a purchase, or avoiding unnecessary delivery fees. These small choices may not seem dramatic, but they can save a lot of money over time. The truth is that frugal living is often boring in the best way. It does not rely on extreme measures. It relies on consistent, practical habits that slowly improve your financial life. 5. Frugal living works best when it fits your life. Not every frugal habit works for every person. That is another truth people often miss. Frugal living is not supposed to be copied blindly. It should fit your lifestyle, your priorities, and your personality. For one person, frugal living may mean cooking more and eating out less. For another, it may mean driving an older car, shopping secondhand, or limiting online purchases. The details can change, but the principle stays the same. Spend intentionally and cut waste. If a frugal system feels impossible to maintain, it is probably too extreme. The best version of frugal living is one you can actually keep doing. 6. Frugal living is not about misery. This is probably the biggest myth of all. A lot of people think saving money automatically means living a boring and unhappy life, but that usually happens when frugality is taken to an extreme. Healthy, frugal living should make your life calmer, not more painful. It should help you feel more in control, not constantly restricted. If every decision feels like punishment, then the system is too strict. The real goal is balance. Spend less on things that do not matter much to you, and keep the things that bring value, joy, or usefulness into your life. That is what makes frugal living sustainable. 7. It is easier when you know your spending patterns. Frugal living becomes much more effective when you understand where your money actually goes. Most people think they know, but when they track their spending, they often discover leaks they never noticed before. These could be small food purchases, unused subscriptions, convenience spending, or impulse buys. Once you see the pattern, it becomes much easier to cut waste without hurting your quality of life. Awareness is powerful. You cannot live frugally in a smart way if you do not know what is costing you money in the first place. 8. It can help you stop living paycheck to paycheck. One of the biggest reasons people are drawn to frugal living is because it helps them create financial stability. When you spend less intentionally, you make room for savings. When you save more, you reduce pressure. And when pressure goes down, life feels easier to manage. Frugal living is not the only way to improve your finances, but it is one of the most effective starting points for people who feel like their money disappears too fast. It gives you structure, it gives you control, and it helps you stop feeling like every paycheck is already gone before the month even starts. 9. Frugal living works better when it is paired with goals. If you are saving money, but you do not know why, it can feel empty. That is why frugal living works much better when it is connected to a clear purpose. Maybe you want an emergency fund. Maybe you want to pay off debt. Maybe you want peace of mind. Maybe you want to stop worrying so much about money. When you connect your frugal habits to a real goal, they feel meaningful instead of limiting. A goal gives your choices direction. It reminds you that every unnecessary expense avoided is helping build something bigger. 10. The truth is simple. The truth about frugal living is that it is not about being extreme. It is about being thoughtful. It is not about removing joy. It is about removing waste. It is not about never spending. It is about spending in a way that actually supports your life. When done well, frugal living can help you feel calmer, save more, and build a stronger financial future without making everything miserable. Frugal living is one of the most misunderstood money habits, but at its core, it is very simple. Keep what matters, cut what does not, and make your money work harder for you. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to live without joy. You just need to be intentional. That is the real truth about frugal living. If frugal living has ever sounded extreme or uncomfortable, remember this: the goal is not to spend as little as possible. The goal is to spend wisely enough to build a better life.